This is the Pursuit of Passion podcast with Noel. And I got a question for you. Do you trust yourself? All right, let's get on with the episode.
Hold up. Hey, yo, Tama Beats, let's get him something new to ride to. Welcome to the Pursuit of Passion podcast with Noel. So take a seat and listen. Listen to the practical words, encouraging words that are here to help you get over the hump in your life, cause you are in pursuit of your passion. Yeah, I see you, and I present to you the Pursuit of Passion with Noel.
Pursuit of passion, pursuit of passion. Gotta have it, you gotta have it. Pursuit of passion, pursuit of passion. Yeah, you gotta have it.
Yo, what's going on, fam? This is season 2, episode 22. Yo, check this out. I'm gonna be real with y'all. I'm gonna be transparent. I had already recorded this episode, and I wasn't paying attention to my app on my computer, and I had my microphone muted. So here I am again. I'm gonna re-record this. We're gonna go at it still strong, because man, I kid you not, the last episode, when the last recording rather, it was lit. So I'm a little disappointed, but it is what it is. Everything happens for a reason sometime, and we ain't gonna let that stop us. So what I wanted to discuss with you all on this, and this is a part of the Relentless Conversation series, is do you trust yourself? So why are we discussing this? Just from learning and from experience, we tend to give all of ourselves to everyone else and do everything for everyone else. But then when it comes to us, we sell ourselves short. And we look for everyone else to help us. And we look for, and let me back up a little bit. I'm not saying don't seek help from coaches and people that can help you develop your business even more. But what I'm saying is we're looking for everyone to confirm the things that we already know about ourselves. We look for other people to reassure us for what is in us. But what we don't realize is you already have it within you. So I just want to help you for one moment real quick and help you to understand that you need to trust yourself. What you're already looking for, those answers that you're looking for, that confirmation that you're looking for, it's already inside of you. And where is it? It's inside of your purpose. See, your purpose is already the confirmation that you already need. Your destiny is already the confirmation that you already need. But what I need you to start doing is to begin to trust yourself. And see, here is the problem. We look for everyone else to try to confirm the stuff that we're doing, to help us to know that we're on the right path. And see, it's dangerous to that sometimes, because see, the people that we're talking to, they have their own fears, they have their own insecurities, because they're not unlocking their purpose that is within them while you are doing it. That's another conversation for another day. But what I'm saying is, the people that surround you, they can't always confirm it. Sometimes we look for so much confirmation that we end up starting to get the wrong confirmation, because what your purpose is doesn't make sense to everyone else, but it makes sense to you, and it makes sense to the person who has given that purpose to you, who has given you your destiny. It makes sense to everyone else. It doesn't make sense to everyone else, but it makes sense to you. But you're trying to look for confirmation from everybody else. You're trying to look for a reassurance from everyone else. But what I need you to see right now, that all you need right now is within you. You have to learn to trust yourself. You have to learn to be that friend to yourself. And see, I'm all for, having friends and all that kind of stuff. But see, sometimes we don't learn. We need to learn to spend time with ourselves. So don't be afraid to be who you are. Because when we're being who we are, that is all that matters. That is all that we need, is just to be who we are. Sometimes we try to image ourselves, or we try to structure ourselves to be like somebody else, or do something the way somebody else did it, because the way they did it looks successful. But just because it was successful for them, that does not mean that it will be successful for you. So I want to talk to the leader in you, that relentless leader, to all my relentless leaders right now. Don't be afraid to be who you are. And you don't have to always feel like you have to go to everybody else for confirmation. It's already in you, because I don't want you to allow other people's fears to be put on you just because they're afraid to walk in their purpose, just because they're afraid to unlock their purpose. So now they want to make you feel like you can't unlock yours. Like, really? No, we're not having that today. So what we're going to do today, we're putting all our fears aside. We're putting all of those worries aside, those doubts. We're putting all of those aside. And what we're going to do, we're going to look at who we're destined to be. We're going to let our purpose start talking to us. And we're going to realize that everything that we have in us is all that we need. And see, when you start realizing you have all that you need, you won't be afraid to be yourself. Just look around sometimes and see how some people try to mimic and do the things that other people did because it was successful for them. But what you don't realize is, and sometimes I get it. It gets difficult sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't look like it from the inside that what we're doing is really successful. But I'm here to tell you right now, I'm here to encourage you that what you are doing is you are being successful. It may take some time right now. Yeah, it may seem like some of the other people that you look at, it may seem like they happen to be overnight, but what you don't see is the struggles that they had to go through. And so, but they press through it. They press through all of the doubts. They press through all of the naysayers. So just because it happened for them, it can happen for you as well. But you have your own path that you have to take. I talk about this in my book, in the book, Be Relentless, that we all have a particular DNA. No one's DNA is the same. And it's just like our paths. Some things may seem similar. There may be some chemicals in my body that may be similar to my mom or my dad, but they still won't have the exact same type of path that I have to take. There's going to be a different path that I have to take. And what we have to realize is that though everybody else is on their path, you have your own path that you have to take. So don't be afraid of taking your own path. Don't be afraid of moving in your own direction that you have to do. Be authentically you. There's power in being you. There's power in understanding who you are. We will talk about that shortly. But right now, I want you to learn how to trust yourself and be a friend to yourself. You spend so much time encouraging everybody else. You spend so much time helping everybody else. Now it's your time to do that same thing for you. We tend to put ourselves on the back burner. And I get it. Sometimes we may feel like what's more important is to help everybody else, especially leaders. You feel like you want to serve everybody else first, and I get it. But if you don't serve yourself first, if you don't put yourself first, you can't help anyone else. So as that leader, what I need you to do is to put yourself first. That same energy that you're giving to everybody else, them same conversations that you're having with everybody else, I need you to have them with yourself. We're going to go to a commercial break real quick, and we're going to discuss this a little bit further, all right?
Goals. How many goals have you set up for yourself where you gave up because it was too hard? How many times did you feel you weren't good enough because the journey seems tedious? I too felt this way, but then things changed. I realized I had to change how I think. I I had to change who I was. I had to be relentless. I am Noel. I want to tell you about my book, Be Relentless. It teaches how to understand your roar, your design path, hitting your mark, and much more. Purchase your copy of Be Relentless today at www.relentlessmotivationalgroup.com. It's not just another book. It's a movement. So are you ready to be relentless? Hey, what's up, fam? To all my business owners out there, do you need to get your business out to more eyes and ears? Do you have a book that you want to get into the hands of other people? Well, here's your opportunity. The Pursuit of Passion podcast is looking to partner with you. We are offering advertising opportunities, so hit us up today. All serious inquiries can email us at podcast@relentlessmotivationalgroup.com. And remember, all things motivate.
All right, we're back. So I was just talking about those same conversations you have with everybody else. So this is the next point. Communicate with yourself. So when we learn to do these certain things, and let me back up a minute. One thing that people that I've learned do not like to do is spend time with themselves. That is one of the most important and beneficial things that we need to do when it comes to trusting ourselves. Why is that? Because we get a chance to know who we are. We get a chance to understand ourselves. I want you to think about it for a minute. All of those people that you call your friends, you call them your friends because you have learned to spend time with them and you gain some trust with them. And see, in the midst of gaining trust with the people that you're around, there were some people that you was hanging around. You saw some things that was looking a little suspect. And because of that, you said, okay, this is not a person that I can trust. But see, here's the benefit of it when it comes to yourself. Sometimes we may say some things that may seem suspect. Sometimes we may say some things that may seem doubtful. But the thing about it is, when we have that conversation with ourselves, when we have that one-on-one time with ourselves, we can turn it around and we can correct it. Because at the end of the day, all we have is ourselves. So when you have that moment, when you're noticing that, okay, when you're starting to doubt yourself, okay, I don't think maybe I can do this. Maybe it seems like a struggle right now. But what I need you to do right now, I need you to do this right now. So grab your pen and your paper. If you don't have pen and paper, I know you got your phone by you, because let's be real about it. We keep our phones near us at all times. So what I need you to do is to go into that notepad. And before you say you don't have a notepad in your phone, most phones nowadays that automatically come with notepads. So what I need you to do, you don't have to start it right now, but put that note there, or you can start. You may have some things that come to mind right now. And what I need you to do is start putting down right now all of the positive things about yourself. Now, I don't want you to write down those negative things, because see, what happens is we tend to focus on the negative things so much that we forget about the positive. We may not seem like we may not be in the situation that we want to be in right now, but it's really a positive to it. You may not have the job that you want right now, but it's stepping stones to this. Yeah, I get it. You want to be a full-time entrepreneur. Yeah, I'm not knocking it. And you may be working on that 9-to-5 job right now, but look at it from this perspective. What you're doing right now, it is funding your vision. It is funding that purpose. It is funding that future person that you are. So we have to look at those negatives and turn it into a positive. We spend so much time dwelling on the negative. We spend so much time talking about the things that we feel like we can't do. We spend so much time getting discouraged because it seems like things aren't working out the way that they should. So in those moments, what I need you to do, that's why I need you to write this stuff down, because see, in those moments, When you start feeling discouraged, you start seeing all of those positive affirmations about yourself, all of those good things. And what it does, that's your conversation to yourself. Even still, I want you to start writing letters to yourself, because think about all of those text messages that you have sent somebody else, encouraging them. How many times have you encouraged yourself? How many times have you written a letter to yourself? How many times have you sent a text message to yourself? What I need you to do now is turn around and look in the mirror and start talking to yourself. What I need you to do is write a letter to yourself. Tell yourself how powerful you are. Tell yourself how proud of yourself that you are. Start doing those things, because see, it's going to come a time that you're going to need these things, because you're going to have a moment where you're going to feel discouraged. You're going to have a moment where you feel frustrated. You're going to have those moments where you feel like giving up. And it is in those moments when you start pulling out those letters that is encouraging yourself, that you're telling yourself how proud of you that you are. And even then, all of those things that you have succeeded, all of those things that you have done that was so successful, when you look back on those things, yeah, what the season you're in may be hard now, but it was hard back then too. Yeah, you may have had a season where it looks tough on your job right now, but what I want you to remember, that there was a moment in your life that you didn't even have a job, that you were struggling and you was fighting to get a job. I will never forget it for myself. When I first got out of jail, I was this close to giving up because I couldn't find a job. And even in the midst, right there, when I was at the point of giving up, then came a job. Was it the ideal job that I wanted? No, but at the end of the day, it started benefiting me. And even looking at the bigger picture of it, or where I am now, it started benefiting me financially, where it could fund my business. And I'm talking, this is back all the way back in 2003, 18 years ago. I can look back on the time where I was about to give up. I can look back on the times where I didn't know if I was going to be able to pay my car note, but it always ended up where I was able to pay it. Yes, it may get discouraging sometimes. Yes, it may get frustrating sometimes. But think about it this way, and even for my people who are in school right now, I get it. That master's degree may seem frustrating. That doctorate degree may seem frustrating. But that bachelor's degree, it has some moments that you felt frustrated too. Did you give up? No, you did not. It was some times that you failed classes, but you kept going and you kept pushing and you got that degree. Yes, I know that it is hard right now. But at the end of the day, baby, if you just keep on pushing, if you just keep on striving and don't give up, if you have that relentless mindset that says, I will not let anything stop me, no matter what I'm going through right now. Yeah, it might slow me down a little bit, but it's not going to stop me, because what I'm going to do, I'm going to keep on pushing, because I'm going to be relentless. And you will get that degree, because you have to look back at your previous accomplishments. You got that high school diploma, check. You got that bachelor's degree, check. Some of you had the associates before you got the bachelor's, check. And it wasn't easy. Don't let this one small obstacle stop you from where you're trying to go. Remember everything that you were strong in. Begin to trust yourself again, because there were some moments that you was about to break. There were some moments that you was about to give up. There were some moments that you did have a breakdown, but you got back up and you kept going. Those are the things that I need you to write down, because those are the things that you're communicating with yourself, because when you write these down, you're going to be looking back at it. Okay, I want to give up right now, but let me go back to the year 2005 when this happened. When I was on the edge, when I was on the verge of giving up, when I didn't think that I was going to be able to get that bachelor's degree, but yet I graduated in year 2005. Let me go back to my sophomore year, back in 2003, when that class seemed like it was struggling. And yeah, I may have failed it one time, I may have failed it twice, but on that third time, I got it, because third time, that number 3, that third time, we're coming in harder, we're not giving up. Those are the things that you need to bring back to your remembrance. Those are the things you need to remind yourself of, that you have been in some tough fights, that you have been in some tough situations, some tough moments, but you did not give up on yourself. We are so quick to encourage everybody else. We are so quick to send those encouraging, motivating words to everybody else that we tend to forget about ourselves. But it is at this moment that we're going to begin to trust ourselves again. It's going to be at this moment that we will start conversating with ourselves. It is in this moment that we will spend some time with ourselves and get to know ourselves even the more and love ourselves even the more. I'm not telling you not to encourage everybody else. I'm not telling you to give up on everybody else at this moment. What I also need you to do, most importantly, before you encourage everybody else, is to remember to encourage yourself. This is the time and the moment that we will encourage ourselves. Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on yourself where you are right now. Yes, I get it. It's hard. It's frustrating. But just trust in the process. Trust and believe that you can do it. And see what I also need you to do. I need you to write down where you visualize yourself you will be. Write down who your future self is. Write down what your purpose is. Because when you write down that purpose at the end, sometimes we have to look at it from the end. When we see that end result, that person that we're purposed to be, that we're destined to be, they begin talking to us. And when they begin talking to us, they telling us, look, you may go through this right now, but I want you to see where I am right now. You're talking to yourself. The future you is talking to you. I want you to see where I am right now and know that there is hope. Your future self is talking to you. Don't give up right here. Don't you dare lay down right here. Yes, it may slow you down just a little bit. This trial may seem frustrating. I get it. You may need to take a breather for just a second, but don't let this moment last too long. See, the problem is we have our moments and we let our moments last too long. And because we let our moments last too long, we hinder our process. We slow the time down in what it should take. Yeah, we will have those moments where we need to sit for a minute and recollect ourselves. But the problem is sometimes we let those moments last too long and we give up and we just sit right there and we stay in a moment of frustration. We stay in a moment of stagnation and we never move. It took me 7 years to finally get back up. 7 years. It shouldn't have taken that long. Yes, I had a moment that slowed me down. Yes, I had a moment that discouraged me. But what should have happened, I should have dusted myself off and got back up. I should have looked at the end result of who I am and who I will be and let that person talk to me. Let that person encourage me. So what I need you to do right now is see that person at the end result and let them talk to you. Let them encourage you. As you write those things down, I need you to allow that person to encourage you. Stop allowing the situation of now discourage you. Trust the person that you see at the end. Trust yourself. Because as long as you're trusting yourself, as long as you're listening to that person at the end, you will not give up. And that's the problem. We're tending, and that goes back to where I said, don't let other people's fears become your own. We spend so much time listening to everybody else's fears that we don't listen to the person that is talking to us, to the person that matters, who is talking to us, that person that is in here, that person that is speaking from the place of your purpose, that person that is at the end result, who has unlocked the purpose that is within you. We need to allow that person to talk to us. We need to allow that person to encourage us. And when we allow that person to encourage us, we will get to that person. We will be able to shake hands with that person and they will congratulate you. You made it. But now we need to go here. Because I'm a firm believer, we will never get to the place of I made it. But that's neither here nor there. Y'all get the point of what I'm trying to say. So real quick, we're gonna go to a commercial break, and we're gonna go with my last point. All right. Hey, what's up, fam? Yo, check this out. If you need music for your next album, your podcast, or maybe even your next video, your YouTube or whatever, I need you to check out my bro, Toma Beats. Hit him up today so he can set you up with dope music like what you hear in the background now. He also is the producer of the music you hear in the background for seasons 1 and 2 of Pursuit of Passion podcast. So check him out today on Instagram, Toma_Beats. That's TOMA_Beats. Or you can look him up on Facebook, Toma Beats. All right? Let him know K Noel sent you. All right. All right. So this last one, and I get really excited about this one. What I need you to do is challenge yourself. You see, have you all ever, you probably have seen it, or you have probably done it yourself, where you have done the trust test with someone, where they fall back into your hands. And here's the problem. We put so much trust into everybody else that we don't put enough trust into ourselves. We encourage everybody else. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with encouraging everybody else, but what I need you to do right now is to be able to encourage yourself. What I need you to do right now is to challenge yourself. Stop thinking less of yourself. Stop thinking that you can't do something, and be relentless. Have that relentless mindset and say, I will not let this stop me. Though I see this mountain in my way, I will be the person that moves the mountain. We don't want to move mountains because we see it as an obstacle. We make it feel like, well, maybe it's not meant to be. Yes, it's meant to be. But what I need you to do is trust yourself, push yourself. We spend so much time trying to push everybody else into their purpose. We spend so much time trying to encourage everybody else. When will you start encouraging yourself? When will you give everybody else your word and do and stick to your promise of what you're telling everybody else what you're going to do for them? But when are you going to stick to your guns? When are you going to keep your promise and what you're saying to yourself? When you promise yourself that this is what we're going to do, when are you going to do it? When are you going to stick to your guns? And when are you going to go forward? We have to get to a point where we become sick and tired of us not sticking to our word when it comes to ourselves. We have to get to a point where we get tired of not pushing ourselves to the limit, past our limits. We got to get sick and tired of when we're not challenging ourselves to go even further than what we think we can go. And see, this is another problem. We're so hard on ourselves. We're so hard on ourselves that we don't even give ourselves a chance to grow. We're so hard on ourselves because, see, what happens is we fail one time and we don't realize that that's a part of the process. Because we look at where everybody else is and we make it and we feel like that they haven't failed. And when we fail, when we drop the ball one time or maybe twice or maybe even 3 times, we're so hard on ourselves. We beat ourselves up and we sit ourselves down, making us feel like that we can't do it. But see, the problem is we give everybody else so much grace when they make mistakes. We give everybody else so much grace when they don't keep their word, and we come up with all of these excuses for them. But when it comes to ourselves, we don't give ourselves that same grace. We don't give ourselves that same forgiveness. We forgive and we forget what everybody else has done. But what we do, when it comes to ourselves, when we mess up against ourselves, we hold it against our own selves. And what we do, we sabotage where we're trying to go because we're always dangling this one mistake over our head. That one mistake that you have done 3 or 4 years ago. It happened 3 or 4 years ago now. Let it go. Look where you are now. That was 3 or 4 years ago. Time has moved on. Time is keep going. But when you move and leave from that place that happened 4 years ago and come to 2021 on this day, and say that you can, You will and you must. When will you get to that point that you forgive yourself for all of the mistakes that you have made? When will you get to that point that it's time for a change? When will you get to that point that it's time to go forward? When will you get to that point that you stop holding yourself with these excuses? Let these excuses go. Push yourself, challenge yourself, stick to what you say that you're gonna do. Because at the end of the day, if you can't push yourself, if you can't challenge yourself, you will never become that person that you see at the end. I get it. You want to encourage everybody else. And yeah, I know how it feels when you encourage everybody else and it seems like what you're doing, you're not reciprocating it back. That's fine and well. But what I need you to do, don't focus on that, but focus on encouraging yourself. When will you start looking back in the mirror and say, you can do this? You will. Now, let go of those excuses and go forth with it. Let go of that fear and go with it. Stop doubting yourself. You can do this. When will you get to that point? When will you start being relentless in your own lane? I get it. You want to help everybody else. You want to fund everybody else's vision. But when will you start investing into yourself? When will you start investing that time into yourself? When will you start spending one-on-one time with yourself? When will you start getting to know who you are so that you can develop into the better person, so that you can develop into the person that God has called you to be, that you can develop into that person that you was destined to be? When will you allow it to happen? It's time to cut out the excuses for yourself. It's time to start encouraging yourself. It's time to forgive yourself. But it starts with you. I get it. You want to help everybody else. You want to invest into everybody else's business. But when they need you, they weren't there. When you needed them, they weren't there. So now it's time. There's nothing wrong with investing into somebody else's business, because I do believe in due time you will reap what you sow. But eventually you got to start sowing into yourself too. You got to stop discounting yourself for everybody else, because everybody else wants you to cut short on yourself, but they want you to give you all of them. You have to realize that you are just as important. You are just as valuable to yourself as you are to them. And if it comes to this point where you have to choose between them and yourself, sometimes you need to choose yourself first. Because how can you help anyone else? How can you be an encouragement to anyone else if you're not encouraging yourself? How can you put on the mask on everybody else and you're not putting the mask on yourself? Because see, all these times that you're trying to help everybody else before yourself, you find yourself and you're dying. You have to know when to say no. You have to know when it's a time that you need to take a break and you need to reset. You need to rest so that you can reset your mind and your body and your soul and your spirit. You have to take that time, because if you continue to let everybody drain you and you're trying to help everybody else while you're on E, you will be no good for nobody and anybody, not even yourself. What is the point of you dying while you're encouraging everybody else to live? What is the point of you pouring water on everybody else when you should be pouring it on yourself first? You can't give everybody else nourishment and you're sitting here dying and you're sitting here struggling. It's time out for that. You have to learn to trust yourself just as much. Stop trying to depend on everybody else to give you what you know you need and start giving it to yourself. Sometimes that's just the test and the trial. Sometimes that's the message that we need to see. That we need to, it's okay to make mistakes here and there. It's okay to drop the ball sometimes. Stop beating yourself up. Give yourself grace. That's what I need you to do today. So at the end of the day, what I need you to understand, what you're looking for is already in you. That encouragement, everything that you need, that affirmations that you need, that confirmation you need, it's already in you. Communicate with yourself. Let yourself know who you are. Remember the person at the end. Let them listen to them. Let them encourage you to keep pushing. You see them and they're speaking volumes to you, but you have to have an ear to hear. And don't be afraid to challenge yourself, push yourself, and hold yourself to your word. It is time for you to go forth. It is time. It is your season. But forgive yourself. It happened so many years ago. And you're still trying to hold back to where you are back then. I need you to come to 2021 and realize that you can do these things. We spend so much time not investing into ourselves that sometimes that's what's holding us back from going forward. So that being said, we're leaving no days left behind. We're going to make the best of each day, whether it's good or whether it's bad. We're still going to invest in ourselves. Whether it's good or whether it's bad, we're still going to push ourselves to be the best version of ourselves that we was called to be. And we leave no days left behind. Be relentless in everything that you do. You all already know the drill. I'm Noel. I hope you have a great evening, great morning, great night, whatever time of the day it is, make the best of it. We are out.
Thanks for joining us this week on the Pursuit of Passion podcast with Noel. Make sure to visit our website at www.relentlessmotivationalgroup.com to purchase books by Noel and Relentless Wear. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter. Both handler names are RelentlessMG1. And also check us out on Facebook at Relentless Motivational Group. Also, join the Relentless Texting Community today by texting Relentless to 404-962-0730. Be sure to subscribe now to the Pursuit of Passion podcast with Noel to catch a new episode every Thursday. And don't forget to leave a 5-star rating. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and a ton of other podcast platforms. If you would like to look us up on Anchor, that would be anchor.fm/The Pursuit of Passion. If you would like to send a donation, you can do so on our website or on our Anchor page. Last but not least, always remember that all things motivate.